What's up, guys? I think I'm streaming live on, yes, YouTube, Facebook, and all the other ones. D-Live, not Trovo. Trovo banned me. And, of course, Odyssey, ODYSEE.com /@the Hake Report /live. Twitch, yes, Twitch is connected. D-Live. Shout out to the Facebook crew. Guys, it is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. And have some stuff to talk about. You can call in 888-775-3773. Did you guys hear about that Travis Scott concert? I will touch on it, and you can call in about it. You probably know more than I do about it, some of you. And a quick announcement, I have a debate tonight. Cool, huh? I'm going to be on Modern Day Debate. Cool. Again, I'm debating infrared. Communism on trial. Communism versus capitalism, I guess. Should be fun, huh? What do I know about communism? I just know that they're liars. So you will get, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I should send a text to the great Bill Lockwood, who knows a lot more than I do. And I will, free Kyle, by the way, and yeah, school choice, you for it? Pope Francis is propping up the women. You know, JLP said that it's a war against men and children, waged by evil through women and female-minded thinkers. Well, Pope Francis is one of them. He appointed a woman somewhere, and there's an attack on Christians in Africa and in America. It's disgusting. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show! I think.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. How was your weekend? Mine was great. I went to Joshua Tree. This is a Joshua Tree t-shirt. It has a fox on it. I thought it was 100% cotton that I was buying, but no, it's 50% polyester. What a shame. I like to buy 100% cotton stuff because polyester stinks. It ends up stinking. Just pro tip for the guys, and maybe the gals too, I don't know. Anyway, quick tip, guys. Free Kyle, yes indeed. Kyle Jack Bauer, John Wick Rittenhouse. That story I take a keen interest in it because I like the notion of innocent unless proven guilty. I even extend it to the blacks. This is a tweet from Martyr Maid, who's this guy on Twitter, and he's like an expert, if you will. He states, prosecution witness, Gaige Grosskreutz. And I didn't know this about him yet. The ACLU legal observer, shot in the biceps, according to this guy, while rushing a downed Rittenhouse with a drawn pistol. You may have seen that footage. I'm not going to show it here because every time I show that stuff, YouTube is like, that is not good for kids. We are age restricting your video. While rushing a downed Rittenhouse with a drawn pistol, Gaige Grosskreutz admits that Kyle was indeed, and it's on video, offering medical aid to a rioter the first time he saw him that night. Offering medical aid to a rioter, according to this guy. He's calling him a rioter, somebody whom Kyle was offering to help. Rittenhouse sure is a violent fascist monster, this guy says sarcastically. And maybe this Martyr Maid guy was being Some of them were protesters, maybe. But you're out there, you're basically a rioter. Because you know there's going to be a riot out there. It shows you either lack the wisdom as a wannabe peaceful person to stay out of there, or else you are there to cause trouble, or else you are a militia member trying to keep the peace. Because the militia people were there trying to keep the peace. The militia people get a bad rap from the mainstream media. So right on, Kyle Jack Bauer Rittenhouse. John Wick. I have some pocket headlines that I want to touch on too, but what's up? What's up? You guys know with that Devilish? I call it Devilish. Rapper stampede. Did you see that imagery of this guy? This took place, I think, on Friday night. And people, I saw footage. No, not footage. I saw a quote from the New York Slimes, the failing New York Slimes, of this father, and I don't know if it was a white man or a black man, brought his son, 9 years old, to a Travis Scott concert, which is a rapper. And I don't think that he is a very clean, 9-year-old friendly type rapper. Then again, I was sheltered, I guess. Travis Scott's real name, he's a rapper, okay? And he's boyfriends with, or girlfriends with, Kylie Jenner, the daughter of, she's like a billionaire, daughter of Bruce Jenner, all in with the Kardashians and all that. Horrible. Bad example of a person, I think. And he actually has 2 children, well, one on the way and one already born, out of wedlock, I think, unless they're married and I don't know it, with Kylie Jenner. This guy who rapped over in Houston somewhere. Crazy, huh? Sick stuff. His real name is Jacques Berman Webster II, Travis Scott. And he spoke out about this tragedy because like 8 people died at his concert. He was doing this music festival. Other people were performing. I think Drake was supposed to be there. All this stuff. 11 people got like heart attacks. The anti-vaxxers are saying, ooh, the vaccine, it can potentially cause heart inflammation. And so they're speculating that it may have been vaccine-related stuff. We don't know that there was this, they call it a crowd surge, where you push against the crowd and then the people in the front get smashed. One lady said that she passed out. Her chest was like all smashed in. Crazy. And people couldn't get out. And Houston, took place in Houston at a place called Astroworld. You guys may know more about this than I do, but it was Friday evening. The concert started like 9:30. By like 9:40, I think the cops were like, this is a mass casualty event. And so they tried to shut it down, but it didn't get shut down for another like 45 minutes. Because they didn't want the crowd to end up rioting. Because they're that age. Oh yeah, it's just age. It's not the culture. What a mess, huh? She was there too with their 3-year-old. Kylie Jenner was there with their 3-year-old. So there's an injured concert goer or 2 suing Travis Scott, who organized this festival, as well as the entertainment company. And I saw footage, people storming in at like 2 p.m. that day, just bypassing you know how a lot of Mexicans and other people, bad kids, will sneak into stuff? These people didn't just sneak in, they just powered on in, broke down barriers in order to not pay and get in. That's what it sounded like to me, based on the story. And then later there was a stampede. People got trampled. There was a security guard who claimed that a security guard who was grabbing at somebody, he felt a prick in his neck. And he thought that he felt a prick in his neck. And then he started reacting like he had some type of drug thing. They gave that Narcan stuff and prevented him from overdosing on the opioid stuff. This Narcan stuff is supposed to save your life when you have an opioid overdose. And that somebody said that he had a mark that was consistent with somebody trying to put a injection in his, or putting an injection in his neck. Crazy, huh? So some people are saying that that's like a terrorist attack, or just a delinquent murder, attempted murder, reckless assault and battery or something like that. That's crazy. Imagine somebody doing that in a crowd. Avoid crowds, guys. Avoid crowds. That's what I say. Protect yourself and be alert. And don't go to this type of concert. Am I right? Just degeneracy. Let me show you some of the footage of maybe a different concert. I don't know if it's the same concert, but the footage, no, not the footage, but just like a screenshot. This guy was showing like crystal ball stuff, a hand over a crystal ball on this huge stage backdrop behind him at night. Look at that. This guy, his real name, once again, is Jacques. So that tells me that he's part French, right? That's like a French name. So that tells me that he's Creole, and as we all know, the Creoles have like witch doctor stuff, devilish stuff. And then plus all the young rappers, this is all my speculation because I don't know anything. All of these young rappers are into new agey stuff and otherworld. Look at those hands, purple gross hands over a crystal ball looking thing and a mountain, and then weird devilish music. By the way, all music is devilish, I think. Almost all. All. Look, there he is rapping with this mountain. And then you see Apple Music up at the top. And Apple Music, oh my gosh. This guy tweeted out imagery of two hands with a bunch of eyeballs all in space and eyeballs inside of the palms of the hands too. Eyeballs don't belong there. That's disturbing. People are saying, oh, that's Illuminati stuff. Look at that. He tweeted this out Friday. Watch live from Utopia Mountain at Astroworld Festival at Apple Music. And I hovered over Apple Music's thing, and Apple Music, you look in there, it is, sure enough, Apple Music themselves, satanic. What is another word for Satan? The accuser. Apple Music, in their profile, all their profile says is hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. That's what Apple Music has. Look at that. With 9.9 million followers, by the way. That's vulgar. Black Lives Matter, the hashtag Black Lives Matter thing is an accusation against whites, cops, America. Everything decent for everything indecent. So they're evil. Sick, huh? Anybody know what well, I don't know or really care about this imagery stuff. It's just disgusting, though. What a turnoff, huh? But, I mean, I don't know. This guy's a reckless guy. Let me play one clip of... I saw this floating around on Twitter. I don't know where it was or when it was, but purportedly, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, purportedly, this is Travis Scott, and he's, like, crowd surfing a little bit. And there's somebody who drew his ire. The apple has a bite out of it, clearly satanic. Oh, yeah, that's true. Like the forbidden fruit type of thing. Well, look at, and because it's all about knowledge. Watch this clip. This is clip, I think, 12. Here he is, seemingly inciting violence, and he looked like he spit on somebody. Watch this, and listen. He's in the crowd, just off the stage, standing on people. He threw something at somebody. Saying, beat him up. Except with the F word.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Reminds me of Trump. Except Trump did it in a good way.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
Look, Did they spit on somebody?
His ass up.
Sorry, kids. Whoa. What's that nice little Armenian, what's her name, doing with this guy? Why are all the Kardashians and Jenners all attracted to blacks? Terrible. Anyway, that's anything else to say about it? 8 people died. A 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, there was a 10-year-old who was hospitalized, I heard. There's suspicion of people drugging people with injections. That's what I said. That security guard who was allegedly drugged. Who knows? It all could be too crowded, says Jupiter. There's probably a lot of speculation. Well, probably. There is a lot. By the way, oh my gosh. Well, I'll get to that later. I'll tell you a little bit more about this. Let me get to Octavio, a first-time caller in California who wants to talk about this thing. I'll tell you a little bit more about the Houston people. It's led by blacks. Not the good kind. Octavio, how are you doing?
Good morning, James. How are you, man?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. I just wanted to touch a little bit. You already touched a bit on it, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Astroworld madness that took over. And two things that are really came to my mind. That was just honestly human sacrifice in its purest form, right there. That show was literally some like I used to not be all about Illuminati and like stuff like that, but that was like literally human sacrifice. I've seen plenty of videos of people just talking, firsthand events where they literally couldn't breathe and they just felt some sort of presence. I mean, obviously, I don't know what a presence feels like, but I mean, you just know when something's off.
Yeah.
And then I also saw.
So you're saying
video.
They couldn't breathe because of the satanic atmosphere, or because of the crush of the people?
Yeah, they didn't specify, but I saw like 3 or 4 videos of younger kids that they said they weren't even that much in the front, but they weren't getting pummeled.
Right.
But they just felt like they couldn't breathe, like there was just a shortness of air in them. I mean, I've been to festivals and concerts,
Yeah.
and I've never personally felt something like that where I was like, whoa, I can't breathe. I got to get out of here.
Right.
That's one. 2, I saw another video where there was a guy convulsing, like literally
I saw
dying
that too.
right there. Yeah, and it's just so weird because Travis Scott like literally looked at him and was like doing like a chant.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Some weird, yeah. So, and I just thought like that's weird, and he just looked and like turned his back on him, and I was just like, this to me was just pure, like just human sacrifice with all the imagery that came out. He had if you were someone posted a picture where they were like right up front of the stage, and if you looked up, there was just like this perfect pyramid over, like just over him, and he had this like beast like on fire on top of him as well. And I mean, just all the imagery, and I just look at the comments, and people are just like, man, everyone's just speculating, all you Jesus freaks or. Just you guys need to let it go. It's just a concert. But I mean, I feel like if you can't look at stuff like this and just realize the evil that is, tucked between the lines, like you need to do some soul searching there, because these rappers especially, they're after promoting, the worst things in society. And,
what did you say? After promoting?
They're just promoting. The rappers are promoting.
Oh, out there promoting.
Most of they're out there promoting.
I thought you were saying astral projection or something like that.
Oh no. Yeah, but they're just promoting like the worst. I mean, obviously, I don't need to tell you, but I mean, just violence, sex, murder of like your enemies or whatever. You're like in a gang or something. But
right,
it's just terrible. And another thing I noticed too, the mainstream media is just making it seem like it was just like just a lack of crowd control. People just got trampled or anything. But I have not seen one headline in the mainstream media where they said that there was a person injecting people with some sort of substance, which is true because when I look, well, I don't know if it's true, but when I look at other sources that are, not, the big guys in the media, no one's touching on that. But why are all these other smaller outlets that, also do their research? Why are they, they wouldn't just come up with, random crazy guy.
No, I mean, there was a Houston official who says that he's looking into it because the cops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the cops. Nothing is confirmed. It's so early, And
yeah.
Well, there is definitely a narrative that goes out and a suppression of the truth. It's kind of like you don't really know why. We never really heard an honest take on why these different airlines had all these cancellations. They say, "Oh, it's definitely not because of the sick outs. They didn't do sick outs because of the vaccine mandates."
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know. I heard that Travis Scott tried to stop. Well, he actually stopped or paused his concert a couple of times when he noticed that people were hurting. Or hurt or some type of trouble going on. So I don't know, man.
And also, one more thing, he's straying away from the subject of, just spirituality and religion. But I also feel like this is just going to be another ploy to, the social outings that, we as people, see, we go to a concert or something, whether it's, rock or country or, rap, these social outings are going to be attacked by these forms of, terror,
Right. Remember that mass shooting at the crazy terror attack?
At the Jason Aldean show?
I don't know what that
Vegas?
is. I'm talking about the one in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas massacre.
Yeah, after Jason Aldean. Yeah, the country singer.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd never heard of Jason Aldean, but I know about the this country music festival in Las Vegas in 20, whenever that was.
Yeah. Yeah, if I do recall correctly, I think it was during his set or something.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I mean, so they're.
I don't know my country singers.
Oh, okay.
He was performing when it happened. Okay.
Okay, yeah, but I mean,
imagine if they were playing my music. He would have shot even. Anyway.
they would have gone crazier, man. But yeah, I mean, they're just gonna use these type of events and just be like. I think, I'm not sure, but I think I already saw some headlines where certain artists are going to start to cancel their shows just like this and to show, solidarity for the people. Certain artists are going to say I'm canceling such tour, I'm canceling this show to show solidarity for the victims, and we as people need to, blah, 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 all that stuff, but that's all just going to be a different plan to, just take away these social gatherings we all know, just obviously COVID took a lot of those social gatherings.
It's not COVID, it's the communist shutdowns in the name of COVID.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the communist shutdown in the name of COVID. So whatever you want to call it, communism.
Well, it's for the better because we've had Muslim terror attacks and then this other guy that's just it's kind of a mystery. We never heard the truth about what happened with Vegas. You've had to watch your back for some time now. As society gets more corrupt, you got to protect yourself because people are exposed now. You know how we didn't have to use to lock our door. Now we have to lock our doors. They're shutting down public restrooms because there's rapists around and homeless bums and degenerate vandals. So when there's less morals, there's less freedom. And less safety.
Yeah. And speaking of morals, and just with the younger generation, because honestly, main Travis Scott fans I want to say they're probably like a good average is probably 14 to 20. I want to say right there that age range is just bumping all his music all day every day. That's what I would say. Because,
I wonder if I have any mutual fans of Travis Scott and the Hake Report.
I feel like most of your listeners probably don't listen to Travis Scott. I don't know, but
I don't know.
I personally, I liked probably like 2 or 3 of his
I heard he
songs,
named
but after
himself.
I saw this,
I heard he named himself partly after Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi.
oh, okay. I
He
didn't
was
know
like
that. I've heard
one of his heroes.
Kid Cudi. That guy's another guy that's just going off the deep edge now, wearing dresses and just stuff like that. So he's also promoting nothing but degeneracy and just the worst that men should be symbolizing. Yeah, he's most of his music is all on a depressed, like I take drugs to escape the world, type of motto. That's like all his music, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, going back to the age thing, just at that show, just with these younger kids, there's a total just disregard for respect and love for the person next to you. Because I personally have been to rap shows. I've been just standing there to singing along with the lyrics. I've even been to shows where I've actually been in mosh pits. But
they have mosh pits at rap shows?
Certain rap shows, like I listen to a rap group called Sesh Hollow Water Boys, and there's usually just an enormous pit going on as well. But they're just now just touching on like this younger generation. But that was like years ago back when I went to their shows. I haven't been to a show in a while, especially now with COVID. But I don't have the vaccine. Most of the places ask for the vaccine. But
right.
But just I never saw that like. That form of just hatred and just wanting to just beat on someone like that. And I've even been to shows where they literally stopped in and were like, hey, get that person, stop the pit. There's someone down there, get him out of the pit now. Go.
Yeah.
So, like, there wasn't that, And I just feel like there's just this total disregard with the younger kids. I don't mean to sound like a boomer or anything, but, I'm 26. But, with the teens coming up.
I got you. So you're saying that people don't care, no concern for a fellow man.
Oh, if there was less,
I've noticed that, especially amongst, like, think of what you see the blacks doing with stomping people and stuff like that, especially the ones who are out of their mind, or the kids. There's just no regard for what they're doing to another human being. When you see them on the street just attack, one punch, one hitter quitter, the knockout game type stuff.
Yeah.
All that stuff. They're just evil to one another.
No, yeah, and I could just see just the lack of morality and stuff like that. But man, it's crazy. That's all I really wanted to talk about.
I appreciate it, Octavio. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, you'll probably touch on it more, and have other callers just mention it. But yeah, man, love the show, man, and free Kyle, man. Didn't do nothing.
Nice. Take care, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too. Some super chats, guys. Travis Scott needs Jesus, says Ryu Love. It was funny. I saw Malkuth X say, where were you guys with the Marilyn Manson and how do you pronounce that name? Guar or Gwar or something like that? Gwar? No, Guar? Whatever. I don't know what Guar... I mean, I've heard of Guar. Like I said, I've never heard of it. I've seen it online. I've seen that name. And I've heard of Marilyn Manson. I remember people complaining about, seemingly when I was in high school, and when I was in, like, second grade, people complaining about Guns N' Roses and how devilish this music is. And I think that even the Christian stuff it's like, wasn't Satan the musician? Lucifer was the musician in heaven? So I think that it's been steadily declining, degenerating. What a mess. Super chat over on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report. Lin Yen Chin states, insecurity lead. Impatience, frustration, scorn, resentment, ridicule, and contempt are venomously thrown about by those suffering the binding gravity of emotional constipation. Thank you, Lin Yen Chen. He says, they console themselves through bitter exclamation of others being repetitive and corny. Perfect peace of inner stillness is an exclusion, not an inclusion of delusion. And emphasizing how One is single, lonely. Are you still who, Pin? Man, Lin Yen Chin, I appreciate it, I guess. Thank you, man. Nice to hear from you. Asmodor gave some super chats regarding this mess over in the Astroworld. Houston, how far they've fallen. He says, over on Odyssey, there is video of people falling out and requiring resuscitation all over the place who weren't even in the crowd rush. I posted a lot of it on his Telegram, I'm guessing. t.me/TKR official. TKR is short for the crypto with a K report official. TKR official. There were people on site saying there was a ton of drug dealing going on. I wouldn't doubt that. I used to hear about raves when I was in high school. Raves where they were taking ecstasy. E is for evil. Don't you know? It was made in the lands of hell below. To quote the Knights of the New Crusade. Great band. Christian band. They looked like they were overdosing. Yeah, I saw one guy having like a seizure, it looked like. All seized up. Also, Asmodor says, these moron low IQ rappers aren't the ones designing all of this Molech and theosophical devil imagery. It's the people running things for them in the music industry, and you know who they are. They kind of look white, but I don't know. They're not Christian for sure, says Asmodor. Probably not Christians. Actually, quite sure they're not Christians. That's right. Yeah, a lot of these rappers, they say, oh, this rapper is satanic. Look at his imagery. But is he creating his own imagery? If you're white and you listen to rap, says Asmodor, you have been fully colonized. Yeah. We're being colonized by the illegal aliens and the immigrants, so-called legal immigrants, the blacks coming in, pushing their mess, and the whites swallowing it, all that rap mess. I was raised Christian, and I was listening to Power 106 as a kid. What in the world? Terrible. Well, thank you for the super chats, guys. I had a caller who was saying Travis Scott should be arrested. He is being sued. I don't know. Social Pariah in Denver, Colorado has a call for me. He's been trying to get in. What's up, Social Pariah? How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Hake?
Going well.
Yeah, I heard you say that you thought that Josh Hawley was like maybe a RINO.
Yeah. I don't remember what context, but I just don't trust any of these guys.
I listened to his book over the weekend. Well, I got to the 4th chapter, so it's really good. But I wanted to really absorb what he was talking about. But he certainly
book?
makes a lot of really good points.
What's his book called?
It's Tech Tyranny.
Oh, The Tyranny of Big Tech?
Yeah, it was after the one that they tried to ban after, he didn't go against the January 6th.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and then Amazon then dropped him. But yeah, he was talking about, it starts off about, Theodore Roosevelt and how he was a lot like Trump. He believed in individualism. He believed that we shouldn't have big corporations. That we had monopoly laws for a reason.
Yeah.
And he goes into about everything that Wilson actually he was for big corporate.
Who
what
was?
Do they call it? Corporate.
Wilson was?
Yeah, Wilson was not good.
No, I know that.
He was for he was for a corporate. What is it called? I'm trying to think. Liberalism, corporate liberalism. Where
what's that mean?
You have freedom of thought, but everybody should be kind of enslaved by big corporations.
Ah, interesting. I thought of him as more of a communist, but it sounds like he was a commie capitalist.
Well, liberal corporatism is a lot like social or communism in the fact that they believe you should have freedom of thought, but not freedom of like the Great Reset, where they're talking about people don't need to own land.
Yeah.
You don't, and let me see real quick. I got a part.
You know
Sorry.
what's crazy about that is you hear about as you're thinking, you just said that people don't need to own land. Just I guess the government or the corporations should do it. But the government doesn't take care of their land better than the people who own their private land. Have you noticed that? When you look back at if you read up on the Malheur, I think it's called Malheur Ranch up in Oregon, the Oregon Ranch. Remember the Oregon Ranch standoff with the Bundys? Some of them went from Nevada up to Oregon, and the feds were violating the private land rights of the private landowners, but the private landowners were taking better care of their land, the nature, the birds, everything. And they were like controlled burnings and stuff like that. Proper maintenance. Better than the feds. The feds don't care because the feds employ people who generally they stay paid no matter how bad of a job they do, especially if they've been in office for some amount of time, because they have federal unions, federal employee unions, just all kinds of mess. So anyway, it's not a good idea to just make people not own their own land. What a mess. We've already tried that. Anyway.
Yeah, when we actually went through what he was talking about is, how the robber barons, whenever J.P. Morgan, and that's where it all kind of started. And Roosevelt pushed back on it. But Wilson and a lot of other people thought, well, it's inevitable. They kind of subscribed to the whole Darwinism, that complexity of thought is inevitable, that we're going to wind up with more thought where actually people with college educated and stuff are going to be running everything, that individuality is no longer really going to be the main push, that it's kind of like socialism is inevitable. And a lot of Republicans went along with that. It's kind of like, it's not just Democrat. A lot of people say that, it's two wings on the same bird. And in a lot of ways, what Josh Hawley's book talks about is that's true. But yeah, he was not the whole start of corporatism and big government and all that kind of started with Wilson.
Yeah, I've heard that before. And was he not one of the people who sort of corrupted the education world too? I feel like I've heard that before. It's shameful.
Yeah, he actually pushed for laborers were like interchangeable, and they really were too stupid to actually comprehend government.
So this is all in what's his name's book, Josh Hawley's book.
Yeah, it's like 24 hours. I mean, it's a long book. So I was like, I haven't really got into the tech part of it, but the tech, what's his name? The guy for Facebook,
Zuckerberg.
They're just taking up where the robber barons left off. Whenever they actually came up with some monopoly laws, which they never really intended to enforce anyway. They give it lip service, but no one in government is actually going to try to bust up monopolies unless we elect them in, which doesn't look like is going to happen unless we get a Trump in there, again.
But just because this Josh Hawley guy wrote a good book, allegedly he wrote it, who knows? How does he have time to write a long book when I don't know. Anyway, he's in office. That doesn't mean that he's not a RINO. Is he strong? I mean, I'm looking at him right now. I'm looking at different articles about him. Wikipedia. Go to infogalactic.com, guys. But he provoked a political backlash in December 2020 when he became the first senator to announce plans to object to the certification of Sleazy Joe's victory in the 2020 election. That's nice. I don't know if that was a performance or if that was an actual fight, but he was participated in the Stop the Steal rallies and stuff like that. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to just keep an eye on him. Support him where he's right, for sure.
Yeah, he certainly talks the talk. I don't know,
Cool. Yeah, when I say, I just express a lot of incredulousness, or whatever the word is, about anybody in office nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're definitely, part of the establishment, and there's enough watchdog. I think one thing with social media and everything, there's enough, more eyes on public officials than there ever have been before, and people aren't going to get away with as much. So
that's what you think. I think people are getting away with more than ever.
Well, you see it now more than ever. You probably didn't see it, before there was so many watchdog groups and stuff.
No, but the watchdog groups are ineffective. There's no, can you name a watchdog group that you trust?
Well, I trust you guys and Red Elephant.
Yeah. But we don't have the inside scoop on Josh Hawley. Red Elephants might have connections, like somebody who's feeding him info.
No governing body is perfect, and
yeah,
you got to put your faith somewhere, and
not in these people.
Well, what it was that Reagan said: trust but verify.
Yeah,
and I think that's what we have to do with these people. But
yeah,
it was
definitely don't go along with the people smearing, because there was a smear on Gates, right? Matt Gates. Over allegedly he used to be a frat boy or something like that, or he was dating around before he got engaged and married and stuff like that. And his fiance's or wife's sister is going nuts and accusing him of all kinds of different things. It's so evil. So don't fall for that. That's for sure. There's a lot of people falling for that stuff.
Well, you definitely have to educate yourself. And I think, if you don't like to read, you should get involved with audiobooks, listen to good conservative audiobooks, and, discern. You can discern better that way. And I think probably that's one of the reasons why they want so many illegals, immigrants come in, and they usually just look out for their own best interest, and they're not.
And it's not even
at all.
It's not even their best interests. They're just being selfish. But you're right about that.
Well, yeah, they want
they're suckers.
A Hummer and a big screen TV while they live in a trailer.
Yeah.
It's like, they don't know, they don't really care enough about the country, on the whole, which it's not just immigrants. There's a lot of American citizens that have been here, a couple generations back.
Yeah.
That just don't care enough.
Yeah, true. I appreciate it, Social Pariah. Thank you, man.
You bet.
All right.
Talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Let me read you a little bit more about Josh Hawley. Since we're on the topic, I saw this Axios article that actually just came out yesterday or so. Josh Hawley defends speech on porn and video games. And apparently he was interviewed by Axios, which is in bed with HBO. But he's a Republican senator from Missouri. He told Axios on HBO he'll make masculinity a signature political issue. He says, the left is telling men you're part of the problem. Your masculinity is inherently problematic. Listen to this quote. As conservatives, we've got to call men back to responsibility, Josh Hawley said. We've got to say that spending your time not working, spending your time on video games, spending your time watching porn online is not good for you, your family, or this country. Isn't that a great statement? I agree with that. Nice. So right on. He's 41 years old, man. He spoke as the keynote speaker for this National Conservatism Conference in Orlando, end of this past month, on last Sunday, on Halloween. Can we be surprised that after years of being told that their manhood is a problem, more and more men are withdrawing into the enclave of idleness and pornography and video games? We need the kind of men who make republics possible, he said. Nice. Asked during the Axios on HBO interview to paint a picture of his ideal man, he said, well, a man is a father, a man is a husband, a man is somebody who takes responsibility. Isn't that nice? He says, talking about the attack on men, you put together a lack of jobs, you put together fatherlessness, social messages we teach our kids in school, not we, but they, the powers that be. We've got to confront that and its effects. And there was a picture of him, I guess, raising a fist in solidarity on January 6th, that mostly peaceful protest, falsely smeared by the mainstream media as an insurrection. He said, I don't know who came into the Capitol or not. If they did come into the Capitol and they violated laws, they're criminals and they should be prosecuted. And they'll get no support from me, he said. Well, whatever, man. There's violating laws and then there's violating quote-unquote laws. Am I right? I think I'm right. But I know that, all right, okay. I like him. He might be a RINO, though, but I like him. As RINOs go, I'm for that. Keep condemning pornography and all that stuff and push manhood. That's cool. Richard in North Carolina wants to talk about this, that devilish rapper thing with the stampede and the drug overdoses or whatever those things were. Richard, how are you doing?
How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
I think it was fentanyl. The way it spreads amongst the crowd, because it doesn't take much, and it's almost gaseous.
So
the way it spreads.
You said, what did you say? It's gaseous?
Well, it's not gaseous, but it's like a powder, and it mists. Like it you know, it's like flour. It poofs.
So somebody poofed out. Somebody sprayed fentanyl into the air, and it got to people. Is that what you're?
Yeah, that's what I think it is, because there was a cop, and he got exposed to like 0.5 milligrams, and he almost died.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, even
heart.
taking there's pills that just can kill you, I heard.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. And anything like fentanyl, anything like, anything that's ground up or anything that's like in a powder.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll get right to your bloodstream. It'll stop your heart.
Ooh.
Instantly.
Yeah.
It's absorbed pretty fast. So, hey, let me ask you something. What do you think about Winsome in Virginia?
I know nothing about her except she's black. And she's a so-called Republican, and she's a female, and she held a gun not very authoritatively. That's all I know about her. And by the way, one example of us not being racist is that she said we elected a black man for president twice.
I know.
That's a dumb statement.
Virtue signal? I hate that when he virtue signals like that.
But what do you know anything about her more than that?
I know she came out of nowhere. She's like, Mark Robinson of North Carolina, the lieutenant governor.
Oh, no.
Oh, he was a big NRA guy, a big Second Amendment supporter. He
black guy.
Black guy, and he won. He came from private citizen to lieutenant governor, which is a pretty big, jump. You know that, but that's what America.
Sounds like affirmative action to me.
No, this guy hates affirmative action.
No, I know, but that's how, that's even the RINO Republicans, they get all excited. I'm talking about the voters, too. They get all excited anytime there's a black Republican, this or that. And so they'll, prop him up when he's actually maybe not ready to be in that position.
100% honest with you, when I first heard of Mark, I didn't know he was black.
Yeah.
So I
think I might have seen this guy speak before. Mark Keith Robinson.
Yes, it was in Greensboro. North Carolina. They're really leftist crazy over there, and they didn't want to do the gun show. And his video went viral, and he's known internationally, even in Japan. The conservatives I know in Japan love him.
Okay.
So, because a lot of Japanese love guns, but unfortunately they can't carry it all because the government's they hate private citizens having guns.
Right.
So, but anyhow, I was going to say, do you think Youngkin winning? Do you think that's really going to change? Do you think he's a rhino, or do you think he's going to be a winner?
My suspicion is he's a rhino. That's what I've heard. I've heard that he condemned the beautiful rebel flag right here. You see this beautiful rebel flag? Ignore the evil apple. I'm going to have to cover that up. This is a get a job sticker. I'm not get a job, by the way, guys. Some people think I'm get a job. No, I support him. But yeah, he wasn't he's not for our fellow beautiful Southerners who are falsely smeared.
Well, let me ask you something. Hey, do you think you're a redneck? I mean, honestly, do you think you're a born-again redneck? You've been born as a redneck? I just have love for the rednecks because I see the rednecks. I'm from Southern California. I mean, my grandpa may have some history in Virginia. That's cool. And so maybe I have some awesome slave owners in my ancestry, which would be cool. I was going to say, if you don't know country, then I have to disavow you as a North Carolinian. You can't be a redneck. So yeah.
No, but I see them. I've noticed that it's off limits to make fun of anybody else, but it's on limits to mock and villainize and smear the beautiful white Southerners. I was going to tell you something. Clayton, North Carolina, which is near Raleigh, it's not that far from me.
Uh-huh. You know how you can always tell the demographics on Walmart on a Saturday at the population?
Okay.
Because that's where people usually shop. There's a ton of rednecks down there, but guess what? None of them are most of them are not white, 100% white. They're mixed.
Right.
All of them are mixed. So when people say rednecks are ignorant racist, just go to Clayton, North Carolina.
Okay.
And they all get along. They all like each other. There's no animosity between them. I mean, it's small town America,
Yeah.
So I just get tired of people when people say rednecks are racist. I'm going like, why?
Right.
I mean, if anything, they love America more, and they're more accepting of people more than most people.
I think that they're honest. They're more honest. Yeah. And so that's considered racism. Just like the cops. The cops who experience the worst of the black culture and other cultures, they know what it's like. All of us sheltered who don't have to deal with these criminals as much. We don't know what it's like. So that's why the cops turn more racist. Because they're more honest and real and truthful.
Well, look at Minneapolis. The majority of the no vote to dismantle the police were blacks in the ghetto because they know the cops are the thin blue line between them and death.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, I know. There's single mothers who are in Baltimore begging for more police because they don't want their children killed or they themselves.
And they also don't want to get raped on the subway.
Yeah.
So, because cops are there to protect people. There's always bad apples. Every profession has bad apples. But the majority of police, do go into service because they do care about their community.
Yeah, I mean, we have a corrupt culture. You're going to find corrupt cops, but you have to deal with the actual elephant in the room, the black crime. Duh.
And the politicians and the Democrats.
Yeah. Anyway.
So anyhow.
Thank you, man.
Well, I just wanted to mention that. Yeah, you take care of yourself, Hake. Nice talking to you again.
You too, Richard. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Quick couple more super chats, guys. I believe it was Asmodor over there on Odyssey, ODYSEE.com/@the Hake Report. He states, a republic is not designed to function in a society where people trust the politicians. He put trust in quotes. Having faith in politicians is a trait of slaves. Yeah. A republic is designed to be run by free men who hold their politicians to standards and keep them responsible. And didn't you love the Fallen State episode this past Friday? Not to be a fanboy and talk about the Fallen State and JLP on my show too much, but that was an excellent episode with that surfer guy who's all involved. His name is ambiguous or something. No, it's not ambiguous. Illusion. Oh man, because he's involved in the local politics and he says that it's what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, a government of the people, by the people, for the people. But if you're not involved in it, you're not of or by the people. And so it's not for us. What a mess, huh? They just keep us busy. Oh, we need to work. Now you need father and mother to work, supposedly. They're pushing it. They want people desperate and broken down. They being the people who want to destroy the country. The commies and everybody else. Asmodor also says, in Winsome's victory speech, that's that black female lieutenant governor of Virginia, Winsome Sears, she said, America is not my country. What? She's referencing her being born in Jamaica. She's Jamaican. Very telling choice of language. Wow. I knew a Jamaican guy who loves America. He's called into our show. He's my show, and as well as the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Yeah, but that's not good. These ladies, false imitation of logic. But they get all propped up because people get excited. Ooh, a black person. Ooh, a woman. Take that, liberals. Give me a break. So stupid. We need white men, Christians, old if possible, or young if they're ready to take the heat and capable, can't be broken down, to be running and taking over. SnglMom doing her best. Apparently in a battle, now I'm understanding Lin Yen Chin's super chats. SnglMom doing her best says, seemingly in response to Lin Yen Chin, I don't want to feed this little tiff or whatever you want to call it that they're having, but I have to read it. They're giving super chats, I guess. Still repetitive and corny, but pontificate all you like if it makes you comfortable. That's a SnglMom doing her best. Shots fired back at Lin Yen Chin. I read Lin Yen Chin's chat, and I had no idea he was defending himself against SnglMom doing her best, who was getting a little annoyed, if you will. Don't want to put words in her mouth. With Lin Yen Chin always talking about emotional constipation and Lord Good Hair and Galaxy Brain kickflip skateboard white Chris and this and that, because he has his sayings that he likes to say. She wants more creativity and less repetitiveness and corniness from Lin Yen Chin. And Lin Yen Chin is going back at her. The drama amongst my fellow listeners. Can't we all just get along? But thank you guys. Appreciate you. Oh, man. Okay, so we are at a couple of minutes till the top of the hour. And as you all know, I like to share my Christian music that I was listening to 15, 20-some years ago. And last week I played for you one of the successors of 90 Pound Wuss, which is was a Christian punk rock band. Christian with an asterisk, right? All Christian music is a bunch of liberals, okay? And the successor, the name of the group is called, Suffering and the Hideous Thieves. I hope you enjoy Suffering and the Hideous Thieves last week, because I have more to play from Suffering and the Hideous Thieves this week. Last week on Friday at the end of the show, I played a song called Disappear. Well, I have a newer rendition of Disappear from Suffering and the Hideous Thieves. This is from their split with the Hush Hush. They had a split CD, like an EP. One disc, Suffering and the Hideous Thieves. One disc, the Hush Hush. They're another group, female. Well, I hope you enjoy Disappear from Suffering and the Hideous Thieves. I think this was from 04, maybe 02, 03, in that range. And I will be right back for hour 2, guys. Here is Disappear from Suffering and the Hideous Thieves. Be right back.
what isn't, what could be, pertaining to you and to me. So let it all shine through you. All the things you know to be true. Present me as holy and blemished. Present me as righteous and finished. Disappearing from this place. It all seems so clear to me now. To lay all these burdens aside, ascend into my Savior's arms, become His bride tonight. So let it all shine through you. All the things you know to be true. Present me as holy and blemished. Present me as righteous and finished. With every word, with every word, with everything. With every word, with everything.
So good. I'm seeing some positive feedback. Hear the passion. I wish your Hake music would disappear, Hake, says Skip. Wasn't this song #1 on the gay record charts? I don't know, Skip. I wouldn't know. I've heard you play some decent stuff, but unfortunately this is the worst you've ever played. Nice. Is this a 90s song? Asks B. Esvuelto. Close. Early 2000s. It's not the worst, but close, says Misty. Parody music. No, man. Well, it's hideous and I'm suffering. Yeah, it's Suffering and the Hideous Thieves. This song sounds better than the previous ones you played. Thank you, Tony ABE. Very nice. All those CDs will be worth $0 in 50 years, maybe already. Hake looks like a school shooter that was homeschooled, says Rich. What? Forget you, man. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for bearing with me through that. Very nice. Quick story before I get back to calls. I will get to John in Kentucky coming up next. Turns out, look at these Houston officials who are kind of in charge of investigating what's going on. Houston officials have vowed to get answers about how these tragic events unfolded. This is according to Vulture. What a proper name for this news outlet, Vulture. These are vultures. This is a very, very active investigation, and we will probably be at it for quite some time to determine what exactly happened, said Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner, who's black Democrat, at a press briefing on Saturday afternoon. Houston Police Department Chief Troy Finner, another black guy, who actually replaced that evil Art Acevedo. Art Acevedo, is he the same guy who's like cussing against Trump and in support of the illegal aliens? He used to be the police chief, and now they've replaced him with the black guy, Troy Finner. Says this is now a criminal investigation, talking about this Travis Scott concert. Devilish rapper Stampede thing. And it's not just Stampede, maybe drug overdoses and mess. I don't know if it was self-inflicted or other inflicted. That sounds evil. Who knows? Narcotics, homicide. Gonna get down to the bottom of it, he says. I don't know. Are we ever gonna find out what happened? They were worried about crowd control, according to the failing New York Slimes. Is there any such thing as a white Sylvester? Asks Malkuth X. I think there is. I don't know why I always, for some reason, he doesn't type in all caps or anything, but I frequently spot Malkuth X's comments. But anyway, the Houston police chief, according to the failing New York Slimes, oh yeah, Sylvester Stallone. He's not black, maybe a little bit on the inside, his heart. But that guy is Italian. Is he not Italian? Or is that just for the movies? The Italian stallion. That's where I got Italian, by the way. Apollo Creed. That's when I learned Italian, I think. Apollo Creed being that black guy who beat up Rocky in the movie. The Italian stallion. I like it. And so he picked going up against Rocky. And Rocky went, well, I don't want to spoil the movie if you haven't seen it. The Houston police chief, Troy Finner, look at this guy. I think I have a picture of him too. He knows Mr. Scott personally from this Travis Scott, the concert. He knows Travis Scott personally, and he felt the musician had been trying to do good for his hometown. I guess he was a Houston hometown boy. Said that he visited Mr. Scott in his trailer before his show on Friday and conveyed concerns about the energy of the crowd, according to a person with knowledge of the chief's account. Yeah, the day of, I don't know what you expect this guy to do, honestly, this Travis Scott guy. His show that day included very devoted fans, said the chief, Troy Finner. So he relayed to Mr. Scott, I wonder if this police chief, Troy Finner, is just like a starry-eyed, I'm wondering, I don't know. I wonder if he was like starstruck with his, or all proud of the fact that he knows Travis Scott, the rapper, the degenerate rapper. You know, like remember Obama? He brought all these rappers to the White House. He also brought some of those whites, so-called whites, the leftovers of Nirvana, the Foo Fighters. He brought Foo Fighters to the White House, and the Foo Fighters sang, there goes my hero. It's to Obama. And so these black politicians, I don't know if this applies to this Troy Finner guy, okay? I'm just wondering. But Obama brought all these so-called stars to the White House. Jib Jab says, Hake, what song is this? Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a bleep if I cut my arm bleeding. Something like that. Is that Insane Clown Posse? No. That's Papa Roach. So good. It's a catchy song, but it's like talking about suicide or self-harm or something. Not good. Is it white or is it black or is it Hispanic, Papa Roach? Sounds like Hispanic to me, right? Or is that racist? Because Roach and Papa? Papa is or maybe is it Italian? Anyway, the Houston police chief knew that there was trouble, and he went and visited Mr. Scott. I wonder if he was starstruck. Don't know. The energy had been building for months among fans who were drawn to see Mr. Scott because that's Mr. Scott. It's not even his real last name. Stupid New York slimes. His real last name is whatever I told you earlier. This Travis Scott is his stage name. Why are you calling him Mr. Stupid. Anyway, because the atmosphere and exuberance of seeing live music again after the pandemic hiatus. We literally flew down just for Astroworld, says Jesse Dahl, D-A-H-L, who came from Denver, Colorado to Houston, Texas, with his 9-year-old son for the show. I've had tickets for months. Anticipation gave way to dread almost as soon as Travis Scott took the stage at 9 p.m. on Friday as the crowd surged uncontrollably and the worst fears of officials and concert organizers came to pass. 2 teenagers, 14 and 16, were among the 8 who died, so-called in the crush and chaos. I don't know. I heard there were 11 cardiac heart attacks. By Sunday, the Houston police and fire departments had taken over the investigation. And again, just like in March or May of this year, just several months ago, that black police chief took over because that Houston police chief, Art Acevedo, I might have to play a clip to remind you who Art Acevedo was, but he was moving from Houston to head the police department in Miami. Anyway, that's that for that. Let me get to some calls here. John in Kentucky. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing good, man.
Nice.
Why you keep on banning all my brothers, man?
Who'd I ban this time? Oh,
Ban
because
Chuck.
they're vulgar.
Friday when I was listening.
Did Chuck commit a bannable offense when he knows that it's a family show? And I'm asking him if he wants to be banned. He won't give me a straight answer.
I've heard white guys do worse than drop the F-bomb.
He's all F you, Hake. And he knew that he shouldn't do that.
You was poking at him, though. You was poking at him.
I was not poking at him. I was asking
triggered.
him if he wanted to be banned.
That's a silly question, though. I mean, you're trying to exert your power over him by like making him have to answer and stuff. He just keeps.
Well, that's
And
not
with it-
exerting my power. That's just exerting my. I want to know the answer to the question.
Yeah. But hey,
Yeah.
my question.
So you got a lame complaint. So he's your brother?
No, it's not
that
a lame
son of Satan
complaint.
is your brother?
It ain't that serious. It's not a lame complaint.
That
It ain't
son of
serious.
Satan is your brother?
He's not son of Satan.
Yes,
you
he
are
is.
the son of Satan. You are the son of Satan.
Chuck is a very
But,
nasty anti-white, and he's your brother. You called him
Well,
your
that's
brother.
my guy, then. That's my guy.
Wow,
I
I
ain't
didn't
gonna
realize
talk-
you
I
were
ain't
so.
gonna talk-
I didn't realize
I ain't
you were
gonna talk
brothers
bad
with
on my
such
people.
nasty people.
I ain't gonna talk bad on my people. But anyway,
Yeah,
did you see all these
your
clowns,
people are
all these Trump supporters?
Satan's
I'll
children.
wait for you to finish.
Thank you. Your brothers are Satan's children. Let the record show. My people are satanic blacks. That's John from Kentucky talking.
You're immature, hey.
I'm immature. You're the one calling
That's
degenerates
John from Kentucky
your brother.
talking.
You're the one calling degenerates your brothers.
don't think he's a
There's the other guy who called.
enjoy-
So
I
is
think he's
Jeremiah?
just
Is Jeremiah your
Boy,
brother?
It's hard to get a word in, but go ahead.
Is Jeremiah your brother?
Yeah, brother in Christ, yeah.
He's not your brother in Christ.
He's my brother
Jeremiah
in Christ.
I had to ban because he kept on repeatedly saying he wants to rip my heart out. So evil. And that's your brother in Christ. Man, how deluded are
brother.
you, John?
That's my brother in Christ. I believe every word in the Bible. And when Revelation happens, you're going to
How
see.
deluded are you?
Can I ask my question on what I told Nick I was calling about? Or do
And
you want
so
to keep me on just to argue and
and so
entertain your
no, you brought up
fellow whites?
You brought up me banning your brothers. So T from Alabama,
Yeah,
the
but
evil
you don't
guy.
know how to get off of it. But you don't know how to get.
The
You
evil
don't even
guy.
want to tell us why you banned T. You don't even want to get specific
I
on why
told
you banned T.
He's just trying to cross lines. He's just trying to call in and constantly trying to destroy Jesse.
What was the final straw? What was the final straw?
I don't have to get into it, John. He crossed lines.
I know. I ain't gonna say it because you probably ban me too if I say it, but I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but I
What a
just
psycho.
know that I know.
Just know that I know.
Yeah.
In your mind, you agree with him then, huh?
On the last thing you banned him about? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, in your mind, you agree with gossip and slander.
No, I don't think that's slander. It's just
It's
too
gossip
much,
and
too
slander and conjecture.
too much of a
You have no clue.
too much.
You have no clue
Okay,
what you
I'm not gonna
heard.
say it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it, but
you better
too,
not.
Too much of a coincidence, man. It
No,
filled
it
in a
doesn't
lot
mean
of blanks
anything.
in my
It doesn't
head.
mean anything.
It filled a lot of blanks in my head, but
That's because
what it is.
Satan filled
That's
that
what
into your
it
head. Satan filled that into
No.
your head.
well, if Satan filled that into my head, then Jesse's
Not
the devil.
if,
or
not
Satan.
if he did.
No, he did
Yeah,
not.
he did because you think you're a black Hebrew Israelite and you're calling in to complain about Q.
Hey, I want to ask you your opinion
All right.
because you know insanity when you see it, right?
Yeah, I know you're insane.
Are those people not insane, waiting on a person to come back from the dead to be Trump's vice president? Are they not insane?
I've never heard that, but if that's true, that's as insane as being a black Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah, you got to compare. You can't just stay on a topic, Ken. You got to compare it. It
Because
kinda
you're
softens it up
because
for
you're
you, don't it?
you're looking and judging Q believers, right? Allegedly, you're
I
talking
just
about Q.
found it out. I just found it out yesterday. I thought it
You're
was
looking
fake.
there,
I thought it
judging
was
the
fake.
Q believers, never looking at yourself because you identify with the blackness.
You just judged them too. You said if it was true, then it's just as insane. So you're calling it insanity. Is
It's
what
not
you're
judgment,
doing.
though. It's because you're not even looking. You don't even look at yourself. You're siding with evil people who hate JLP for doing
Hey, man,
what's
don't
right.
switch it over, man. Keep it on what I asked you about. That's what I called in for. I didn't
Because
didn't call
the
in
point
for you
is
to
the point is blind.
bash the last Hebrew.
The point is you're blind and you're judging the blind people.
They're definitely blind. I wouldn't say I'm blind. They're definitely blind.
You
Waiting
know,
on
blind
somebody to
people
come
don't
back
know
from
they're
the
blind,
dead.
right?
Well, if you lose your sight right now at 40 years old, you're gonna know you're blind, Hake.
But you never had your sight since childhood, so you forgot that you're blind.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, how long have you been a black Hebrew Israelite?
I was blind when I was following that crap.
Yeah, you were blind back then too. You were blind as a follower back then,
No.
and now you're still a follower. You just
But
switched.
can we get back on what I called about, or do we have to stay on this?
What do you want to? What else is there to say about the Q people? I don't even know anything about it.
How can people organize and all show up at the same spot over an insane topic like that?
I don't know what you're talking about. What happened?
The Trump supporters, they want John F. Kennedy Jr. to be their vice president, and he's dead.
Huh? I never heard that
dead.
before.
Well, you got Google. You always look it up when people are talking to you. You always Google stuff. All you have to do is look at it.
Google
Those
is
people
evil.
are ridiculous. Yeah, when it's convenient
So
for you, Google.
where'd you hear about this?
Just surfing the internet, man. You know, things pop up, and then you start to look. And
So the mainstream
I
media
started
told you
looking
about
at
it?
videos. Yeah, including Fox News covered it too.
What a mess.
Your favorite.
See, you don't know what my favorite is.
Uh,
You're just
Fox
a
News
sucker.
is-
You're just
Fox
repeating
News make-
stuff. You sound just like the
Man,
dumb
you a
liberals who
clown,
say,
boy.
"Go back to Fox News, you dumb Trump tard." You're pathetic.
Yeah.
You're just making up stuff.
You like Fox News?
Not particularly. Sometimes, yeah. Tucker Carlson
Yes,
has
you
a
do.
good show.
You like. I was about to say it. You like Tucker Carlson because he sounds just like all that white nationalist crap. He likes to spew.
He tells the plain
That's what
truth.
you
I'm not
like.
surprised. I'm not surprised that
It's not
as
the
an
plain
angry
truth.
black Hebrew Israelite that you can't recognize the truth. I'm not surprised.
man.
Why do you like my
right.
show but not Tucker's?
You know, I used to watch Tucker every day I come home from work just to see the bull crap. The same way I listen to your show.
Oh,
and my
okay.
wife, she would get annoyed by it. She would get annoyed by it. She asked me, why do I listen to that stuff?
Oh, so you
I
quit?
just like to hear the BS. I just like to hear the BS.
So you quit?
Much.
You quit
But yeah,
because your
man, I
wife
ain't
is
watched-
annoyed?
I haven't watched Fox News.
You quit because your
or
wife
any
is
other
annoyed?
media. No, I quit because I just got sick of all that political stuff. With
Your
Trump and
wife
Biden
doesn't
and
like
all
the
that.
truth.
She don't listen to it. She just hears noise in the background. She don't really pay attention
She
to it.
hates the
so
truth.
You need to try to get you a wife so you could
I don't need to do anything but
somebody
stay
to-
white and live.
stay white and die.
No, stay white and live.
Stay white and die. You heard Jeremiah.
You shouldn't repeat that, honestly.
Oh, man.
I shouldn't have even repeated that, to be honest. But I was only
you
making
know
a
what,
point
man?
that you side with just pure evil.
Hey, those
Pretending
are my
that-
brothers, and I don't see that as evil. What Jeremiah was saying.
You admitted
What
that
do you
he was
think?
overboard.
What do you?
He
was emotional.
yeah,
he was.
emotional.
But
Not
if you want
good.
to keep it real, what's Christ gonna do when he comes back?
I have no idea.
Cutting heads off. He's cutting heads off.
Whatever.
Well,
You don't know him.
It's in the Bible.
You don't know him.
I know him more than you do.
No, that doesn't mean anything.
we share the same blood.
Zero more than zero is still zero.
We share the same blood.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
No, you do not. You have no clue.
Man, I forgot what I was just about to tell you, man, because it was something I saw. It's
You were,
like more
you were
and more
saying
white people.
you were saying that you're a simp for your wife who
No.
can't stand Tucker
Def-
Carlson
hey,
because he's too manly,
Definitely.
and she can't stand
No.
that Tucker's more of a man than you. And
You think
Tucker's
Tucker
white.
Carlson is a man.
And Tucker's
You think-
white.
Dude, I will beat the crap out of Tucker Carlson.
Why are you so?
He ain't
Why are you
no
people
man.
so violent?
I'm just saying, if you're a man,
You're so You always
If you're a
fantasize about
man-
the worst stuff. Grow
what
up.
makes you a man, Hake?
Grow up.
What makes you a
Grow
man?
up.
What makes you
Grow
a man,
up.
Hake? I know you're having fun doing that. but
Yeah.
What makes you a man?
What makes you a man?
Yeah.
Loving what's right. You people don't love what's right.
No, that's your philosophy. I mean, like,
You don't love what's right.
what kind of
You
what
just
kind of
admitted
action-
that you don't love what's right.
what kind of actions should a man take, like living life?
Stand on what's right.
What else?
Admit you're wrong when you're wrong. Not
Goodness
side
gracious,
with
is that all
not
you talk
side
about?
with degenerate blacks just because they're black. Not buy into
So-
this fake idea I'm a black Hebrew Israelite. Stupid.
Hake, a woman can stand on the side of right. It don't make her a man.
real
so
woman
I'm
would,
asking,
and she would be a real woman.
what does it take?
Have you seen a woman stand on the side of what's right?
Yeah.
Simp.
How about a simp?
I don't know, man, but I got to go. Nice talking with you.
Yeah, I know, idiot.
Whoa. He called me an idiot. You know, speaking of this kissing up, and then I will get back to calls, guys. Hang tight. Oops. Let me tell you about this thing where women are making history. This is a far-left female-run outlet, The Skim, in Vatican City. Did you know that, yes, even the so-called Christian world, on Thursday, Pope Francis selected Sister Raffaella Petrini to take on the city's number 2 position of government. Now the 52-year-old Italian nun is apparently the first woman in that role and the highest-ranking woman in the Vatican. Sick, huh? That is evil. Pope Francis kissing up to everybody, kissing up to the gays, kissing up to the women, kissing up to the illegals, kissing up to the blacks. Always count on him to support what's wrong. Or am I wrong? Gross, huh? Let me get to Christina in Sacramento, California. How are you doing, Christina?
Well, thank you so much, James.
Yeah.
Appreciate you taking my call. And really quick, I always find it interesting how callers will call in and tell the host how the host should run their show.
I know, huh?
It's astounding to me. I mean, we're in a free country. If a person wants to start their own show and talk about what they want to, there's nothing stopping them.
Right.
And right, I think to myself, why in the world would somebody waste their time? They must really not have a job or not be engaged in something they're passionate in if they got time to be doing that.
Maybe so. Yeah. What a mess.
You know, it is. So I wanted to talk to you. I heard a little clip of one of Jesse's guests today by the name of Delaney, who is just trying to make sense out of the whole school system in California. And it's going on throughout the country, but particularly here in California. So I think what happened in Virginia woke up people a little bit more. Honestly, I think it all started with COVID. I think had it not been for COVID, parents would not have been looking into the kids' classrooms and seeing what's being taught. And there still are some decent people left, in this country that they realized, wow, it's really bad what they're pushing and how they're brainwashing these kids a lot more aggressively. So in our state, I'm very involved with going to school board meetings. Actually, there was just a meeting last night that I attended, and it was anywhere from 80 to 100 parents who are getting sick and tired of this whole vaccine mandate that's potentially coming out by our governor in our state, where he wants to vaccinate every K through 12 student in our state.
Right.
And people are getting fed up with it. So today, actually, there is a hearing taking place that started out of the school board in San Diego, where they're going to be taking Newsom to court and to stop this mandate.
Nice.
And, so we're kind of waiting to hear on this, but people are fighting back, and it's so encouraging to see that it doesn't take much. It just takes people standing up and going to these meetings and finding out who the supervisor is of the particular school, and meeting together as parents and going and talking to the principal. And not yelling and not getting out of control, but just calmly, finding lawyers, pressing charges, and we may have a chance if enough people continue to do this. So it's fun, actually.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
I respect that. We should definitely be doing that. Get involved.
Right?
Especially the
That's
men.
all it takes. Yes, exactly. It is nice if there's more men. It seems like it's going to be up to the suburban white women to do this, because I don't know what's going on with the men. I really don't know, but I see this more. And
It's
that's
not
going to
be effective until the men start doing it.
Well, yeah, and they are starting to finally realize that, there's more to life than watching sports and drinking beer and having sex. So, and you can't just rely on the school to teach your kid, because they're just doing a terrible job. No,
they're poisoning their minds. It's sick.
They really are. They are weaving critical race theory into every aspect of a lot of subjects. And I happen to live in a very conservative area of our state, luckily, fortunately, and so they're seeing it and they're stopping it. So at least our particular district, we're fighting. So I can't speak for the rest of the state, but your LA Unified is just horrid.
Yeah.
And the parents aren't doing
disgusting.
anything. So. It really is, and so all it's going to do is breed a bunch of social justice warriors, quote unquote. That's all they're going to do, and then they're going to all be filled with white guilt, Asian guilt, whatever guilt, So, yeah, but if they don't do it, it's like Jesse always says, white people, you got to speak up, and it's true. Everybody needs to speak up, or they're just going to have a bunch of, that the plan is to have a bunch of socialists, honestly.
Yeah.
So, and it's working.
Compliant masses. It's so wrong.
It is, and they start young, so.
Yeah, and pro-gay and all that madness. What a mess.
It really is, and we see it all over the place, in the schools, everything. They just start young, and the kids start to believe it, and if the parents aren't saying anything, then they're going to all believe it. It's going to be a mess, this next generation coming up.
There's such a double standard where you just give a pass to the blacks and Hispanics for the
Well,
wrong
and
stuff that they do. They act out in schools. Oh, they're suffering disproportionate punishment in schools because they're disproportionately acting out. But now they're expected to be given a pass for all the horrible things that they do. So then you have riots at these events.
And how can you, if I were a black parent and my kid is told that you're not smart enough to do these math problems, and so we're going to bring the grading system down, which is what they're doing, I would think that's racist. I would think, why, if you don't think my kid is smart enough to do this, I would be up in arms and think, gosh, that you're telling my kid that he's dumb.
Yep.
I mean, and they're doing that. They're bringing down the grading system so that they can, quote unquote, try to help these kids that are, considered what's called marginalized.
Right.
So I think that's full-blown racism. So, but, so you're just going to breed more victims.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that. Jesse says it. It's true. A lot of the black leaders that have sense, they know that it has everything to do with with no fathers in the home. That's all that it is.
It's partly that, but then they're fed this this excuse of racism. I can't do it because of racism. It's pathetic.
Yeah. Right.
It's
so,
turning right wrong and wrong right. That's what the racism
exactly
thing does.
If you tell a child that they have all the cards stacked against them, they're going to believe it.
Yeah.
You can take a kid who's a quadriplegic and they're told they can do it, they're going to become a lawyer. They'll do it because they're told that they can. But if you're told you can't and you're a victim of this society, then you're just going to believe it. So
yeah.
It's quite a shame.
I appreciate it, Christina. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah, thanks, James. It can be done. The parents got to get off the couch, though, and they got to go do something.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you. Let me play this school choice thing. Speaking of the attack on the schools, I had this clip. It's from this guy, Daniel Buck, who is Mr. Daniel Buck, who I told you last week. I shared with you a clip of him saying, yes, the CRT is in the schools. And then I will get back to calls, guys. He says, I'm a teacher. I support school choice. He calls himself a conservative teacher. Listen to this argument from him and let me know what you think. Here's Daniel Buck talking.
Thinking about school choice and why I, as a teacher, support it. So I'm going for a walk through this neighborhood. It's a pretty nice neighborhood. And right now, all of these kids, all these families, they're assigned to school. They go basically where the district lines tell them, and then the property taxes here fund that school, meaning affluent schools stay affluent, or schools in affluent neighborhoods stay affluent, and schools in poor neighborhoods stay poor. That doesn't seem fair to me. And tying to the fact that kids are assigned to that school, we basically lock children into successful and failing schools. And as a teacher, somebody who cares about kids, that seems really, really unfair. All school choice is doing is suggesting that we, stick a dollar sign, whatever we think the funding per student should be, on every kid's forehead, and wherever that kid goes, that school gets the money. To me, that seems like a far more fair and just and equitable and ethical way to fund schooling, and one that will result in much more success than we do right now.
What do you guys think? I don't know. I like the idea of decentralizing it because schools get more money from the state government and the federal government, I think, from what I understand. The more heads that are in their rooms, their classrooms, the more illegals who are in the community, the more illegal children are going to the schools, the more money these corrupt schools, teachers unions, school staff get. He smacked himself. And so in that sense, I like it. But I don't agree with him that schools in poor neighborhoods stay poor and that's so unfair. Because the poor people, that's generally partly their own fault that they're quote unquote poor. It's a big mess. It's partly their own fault. And then you don't want to redistribute the ghettos. It reminds me of Obama's redistributing the ghetto people. Oh, they're trapped in these ghettos. There's all this crime around. So let's move these ghetto people out of the ghetto and into the better well-to-do. Then they don't have the distraction of the crime and stuff, except that they're bringing the crime and degeneracy with them and the lack of values with them. Just redistributing ghettos. So I'm not sure about this thing. I do like the idea of kneecapping the corruption, the public schools, though. Should be shutting down the Department of Education. Is that past time to do that? Reagan was supposed to defund that, the whole thing. Anyway, I'm going to try to get to this attack on Christians, guys. But first, let me get to Jeff in Louisiana. How are you doing, Jeff?
Pretty good. Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah, man, I just want to comment on not your last call, but the call before that was talking about Tucker Carlson and all the Fox News, how basically it's saying now that's all white people watch is Fox News. Well, he wants to mention Tucker Carlson, but doesn't he consider CNN and Don Lemon for them?
Yeah, didn't he call Tucker he called him a white nationalist or something like that? Because he's white and he's a nationalist. He loves the country. What a dummy.
Have you ever watched CNN, man? That's all it is. Don Lemon every night. Dude, they had the
has he ever listened to himself? He's a black anti-American, whatever this guy is.
Well, man, there's a guy I can't think of his name, but I like the guy. He's a black, or not defending, but African American sheriff from Wisconsin that went on there and
Milwaukee County.
Yeah, that guy.
David Clark, Sheriff David Clark. He's black. Yeah. He's not African American.
Yeah, well, that's what I said black, but that's African American, not to offend anybody,
Oh gosh, don't follow along with that. I heard that was. You know who pushed that?
Up for saying anything.
You know who pushed that? We don't get locked up in America yet. This is. I think that was Jesse Jackson pushed that African American thing. Don't go with that.
I don't say that, man. I mean, you're white, you're black, you're black, you're Hispanic, you're Spanish.
Whatever.
I mean,
Spanish. Nice.
I mean, it is what it is, but dude, it's just like Don Lemon goes on here every night, complaining how we do this and we do that. Dude, it's like the blacks had their network, which is CNN. We have our network, which is Fox News. I mean,
man.
What's the bitch? I'm sorry. What's the complaint about? It's just, we get our news from somebody, and we get these. Well, they got CBS, NBC, CNN.
You know what? It's a state of mind. It's a state of your heart. It's the inclination of your heart to believe the truth or to believe lies. Because he listens to my show, and he used to listen to Tucker Carlson's show. We're talking about John from Kentucky, and this truth doesn't sink in because he's not open to the truth. He's hung up on his blackness.
But then he said he wasn't a fan of your show, but why are you going to sit on, how do you have the time to sit at home for 2 hours during a working day to listen to your show to try to call through and get on air with you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
I mean, you want to know about that, a little bit on that aspect, though, if you got a minute.
Go ahead.
What do you? What screw about this country is, man, I'm 39 years old. I worked
39, you said?
Life. Yeah, 39. I've worked every day of my life for the past 21 years.
Nice.
Well, I say every day. Last year on a job, I tore my ACL.
Damn.
I was off for years. I had ACL reconstruction surgery and went through therapy for a year. When I come back to work, I got suspended because, well, I'm union. I ain't gonna say I'm union. It's some BS. So I got suspended for a week. I applied for unemployment for that 1 week, and they said I could not qualify for it because I hadn't paid enough taxes in the last quarter of the year. Now this is where you get screwed up at is. I told the dude on the phone, he's a black guy, he's real nice. I told him, I'm not being rude to you, but I can walk outside, I can drive up the road and see 2 trailer parks with, dozens of trailers with people out there who's never worked a day in their life, He get $1,000 a month in food stamps and unemployment, all this shit, and hadn't never paid tax in their life. But me, somebody who's worked for over 21 years, can't qualify for nothing when I paid all these taxes.
Right.
That's what screwed up. That's what screwed up about this country.
Yeah. Interesting, man. What a mess.
Well, man,
So how are you doing now?
Man, actually, man.
Are you recovering? Are you recovered yet?
Well, yes, I went back to work June 7th.
Okay.
But I had a wreck because my company didn't pay me right for a month, and I was coming home on July 2nd. My brakes went on my truck. I had a wreck and broke my leg in the same spot where I had my ACL surgery.
Oh man!
And I got put back off work for another 3 months. Now my company's trying to medically retire me. And
medical retirement?
Yeah,
they're trying to force you into your company's trying to force you into medical retirement after the wreck.
Yeah, they're trying to. It's called PMR, so permanent medical restrictions. They're trying to force me to quit, and I get 5 weeks pay and my pension. And I mean, dude, you can't live off that stuff at 39 years old.
Right.
That'd be like.
Can you go Can you find a different job?
Well, if they do that, no, because it goes on your record permanent. So any company that looks at you say you're already broken, so we're not going to hire you.
Oh.
So I mean, man, it's just the way the system's set up, man.
Can you start your own business, maybe?
Man, I really don't know what I'll start because, I mean, there's nobody around here that does what I do. I mean, there's no companies around. There's one company around here that's a contract company that does what I do, but, you know, they just, there's...
Well, don't let it get you down, man. So, but it's not done yet. They haven't successfully put you on that medical forced leave, right? They have not successfully done that. They just want to.
Well, actually, they did, they're trying to now because, let's see, not last week, but the week before on Monday, I had 2 people report that I was working with, report that I wasn't able to, didn't look like I was able to do my job right. And on Wednesday, they pulled me in the office and talked to me. On Thursday, I come in the office and made me sitting there all day. And on Friday, I took a vacation day. And because my area manager called me and said, well, you ain't going to work, are you? I said, I need my money. I need money. He's like, well, what else we do? So last week, I took a week of vacation last week because I need to go to the doctor and get all stuff filled out. But they're not letting me come in at all because they don't pay me. I'll be honest, they don't pay me $27 an hour, so I'm asked to do nothing. But I'm going to take off tomorrow to get my stuff finished, and I'm going back on Tuesday. If they want to do what they want to do, they can do it. But man, you can't sit.
Keep a good attitude, man. Don't keep a good attitude. Don't get any more wrecks. Check your car. Make sure your brakes don't go out again.
Well, man,
and just keep working.
That's okay, man. I told that truck out and hit the tree, so I got something new now.
Man, what a mess. Was that your fault that the car had a wreck?
No, man. It was I was coming home from the store.
I just want to know if it was your fault or not. I don't want to need the story. Was it your fault?
No.
Okay, it was not.
It was not. No, the brakes went out completely. It was not my fault.
All right. Well, man, I wish you well. Let me know how it goes. I am curious, but don't let this stuff get to you because you don't want to start having excuses. I understand that these injuries are rough, but you have to overcome.
My life is you only worry about the stuff that you have control over.
Yeah,
I have no control over this, so don't worry about it. You only worry about the stuff you have control over. That's my motto of life.
All right, man. You doing JLP's silent prayer?
Yeah, man, I am.
Nice. Right on, man.
Okay, man. Can I ask you one last question before I get off phone? I don't want to piss you off. I want to ask you. I know you bought Jeremiah off your thing. Dude, I'm closing into it. I think he's full of crap. But on today's show, JLP said, and Jeremiah, and then he went on a speech in his show and didn't answer his call. Are y'all blocking him from that show too?
No, my show is my show. JLP's show is JLP's show. The people who get banned on JLP's show are not necessarily banned from mine, and the people who get banned on my show are not necessarily automatically banned from his. T from Alabama was banned from JLP's show months, maybe even like a year before he finally got himself banned from my show. All he ever does is call in and try to destroy Jesse with stupid speculation. And then he changed his name. He tried to call in last week to JLP's show, called himself Terrence from Detroit. He's T from Alabama. Maybe his real name is Terrence.
Why don't be Chuck from Detroit?
Oh, I banned him already too because he got too vulgar. These guys you can't just let them be evil. It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's not necessarily a family show, but still.
No, it's a family friendly show. There are people's children. People listen and have their children hear it too.
I mean, you don't call anybody just blurting out cuss words.
Right.
That's common decency right there. You don't just call anybody blurting out cuss words. You don't call nobody blurting out cuss words. I mean, man, you know what?
Yeah.
It's like if you get that pissed off, just walk away. Just hang up the phone and have a good day, Hake. You know, if they're pissed off, just have a good day.
Yeah.
But man, I ain't gonna hold you, man. I ain't got more calls to get to. I know you about any time.
Well, I appreciate you, Jeff. And are you sober?
Yes, I'm sober.
Okay. All right, man. Well, take care.
Well, I'm curious. Why'd you ask that?
Oh, because you know how you mumble, and then
man,
I can't tell.
My two nicknames are Mumbles and Boomhauer.
You got to work on that, man.
Boomhauer, King of the Hills, to talk fast and mumble.
Okay,
man. Well, have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Take care. That is nice. Man. Okay. Before I get back to Killian, I'm coming to you next. Hang tight, guys. It's an attack on Christians. Did you know that? It really is. An Epoch Times reporter. You remember the Epoch Times? Jailed in Nigeria. The Epoch Times reports the religious freedom advocates in Washington, D.C., are protesting the November 4th jailing of Epoch Times reporter Luka Biniat. And I think I have a picture of him. He's a black guy. He maybe is Nigerian himself. He's been at the forefront of reporting on the atrocities against Nigerian Christians, though. There he is. Is that an honest reporter? I don't know. The Epoch Times seems like they try to do a good job. This is an alarming development, says Tony Perkins. You may have heard of Tony Perkins. He's president of Family Research Council. He may have appeared on the Jesse Lee Peterson show before. If a journalist reporting on the government's refusal to prosecute those engaged in religious-motivated atrocities, because Muslims over there in Nigeria are killing Christians, has been arrested for his reporting, if a journalist has been arrested for his reporting on the government's refusal to prosecute anti-Christian attacks, that would be further evidence that the government of Nigeria is complicit in the ongoing egregious and systematic religious persecution of Christians in Nigeria. That's what he said. So he's charged, likely will be injurious falsehood and incitement. I wish they would charge the mainstream media here in America for injurious falsehood, like the Me Too movement or the Black Lives Matter, scum of the earth lies, and incitement of Antifa and Black Lives Matter scumbags against real Americans. Yeah. According to Ruman Buhari, who's a fellow freelance journalist and friend of Biniat, this guy, Luka Biniat, who's arrested, said it's likely linked to Biniat's most recent story in the Epoch Times. In Nigeria, police decry massacres of Christians as wicked, but make no arrests. Reminds me of what's going on in South Africa. The police are at a total loss to do anything, and the government doesn't really care. They're like, no, don't do that. And then they just let them do that. Attack the farmers, torture them, rape them, kill them. Is it Boko Haram? I don't think it's Boko Haram, at least not according to these people. Their organization is Fulani extremists, Fulani Muslim radicals, who destroy village after village, go scot-free without investigation. according to one of these guys. No persecution, no prosecution nor punishment. 38 people were killed one day, September, when was this? 38 unarmed men, women, and small children were massacred, allegedly, right? In this village. And I have pictures of, like, the caskets. According to the Epoch Times. The caskets of these Christians killed. Crazy, huh? And they charged him with a breach of the peace. He was arrested back in 2017 with a breach of the peace. Think about how much the media incites all kinds of madness and riots here in America. Show the pictures of the caskets. It's like crazy. All these wooden caskets of these Christians. Dude, those are allegedly, and with the cross on them. Those are Christian dead bodies, according to the report, in Nigeria. And these people have incitement, breach of the peace. They do that here in America, and they get away with it. The mainstream media does. But then this guy's falsely accused of incitement just because he's reporting on the attack on Christians, allegedly. Shameful, huh? What a mess. Anyway, let me get to Killian in Boston, Massachusetts. How are you doing, Killian?
Guten Morgen, mein Kameraden.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a question for you. I'm facing a dilemma right now. I know I'm Killian from Boston, but I'm thinking about becoming Killian from Tampa.
Heading down to Florida, huh? Everybody's moving to Florida. What's your motivation?
It seems like the trend. Well, my father lives down there, and he wants me to move down there. He has a spare room in his house. He said he would let me live there for free. He's getting hip surgery soon, so he'd be all laid up, and he'd need someone to, like, help him out and whatnot.
Oh, man.
And I've been looking into the jobs down there and stuff, but, I mean, my heart and soul is, you know, I'm a son of New England.
Yeah.
And it's very liberal and Democrat up here, and I'm not a liberal Democrat. So I guess my question was, do you think it's cowardly to move down to Florida instead of staying here and fighting?
I have no idea, because it depends on your reasoning for it.
Well, on one hand, I could save up a bunch of money living with my father for free, and I was surprised. I looked around for a bunch of jobs down there, and they're actually paying more than they're offering up here, even though the cost of living up here is a lot higher.
Right.
And it's sad to see how the state of affairs up here in Massachusetts are.
Are you working right now? You back to work yet?
Yes.
I would say don't do anything until you know for sure what to do.
Well, like I said, I applied for a bunch of jobs down there, so I'm waiting to hear back. I mean, I only applied last Friday. I had a long conversation with my father.
Are you running?
But, huh?
Are you running?
Running?
Yeah, because you're asking me if I think you're running. Do you think you're running?
That's why I'm asking you. I'm not, I don't really have anyone to talk to around here. It's all old people who all stay inside. I don't really have any close group of friends to ask about it.
You know what's in your heart better than I do.
I mean, it's 50-50. Half of me thinks that I'm running. The other half thinks that a future in Florida might be best for me. I mean, I don't know if you know, but it's the natural migration is people from Massachusetts move to Florida.
Yeah, I know. What a shame. For me, my impression is it sounds like it's an easy out, living for free at your dad's place, getting a nicer job. It feels like the grass is greener type of thing. And I don't know if I would.
It's starting to get cold up here.
Oh, gosh. But you've lived up there forever. You already know what it's like. You do JLP's silent prayer?
Yes, morning and night.
Nice. Yeah, know yourself, man. To me, I would stay where I am until I knew what to do.
Well, I've been staying up here for a while, and
But that doesn't.
I've been really thinking on it.
But do you know what to do?
I mean, last year during the COVID lockdowns, I got laid off from my job. I went down to visit my dad.
Right.
I was originally supposed to just go down there for 3 weeks, but I ended up staying 3 months.
Man.
My girlfriend was very upset about that.
Oh, yeah, you're living with her, huh? What the heck?
Yes.
Kick her out. That's step one. Or you move out or something.
Well, she actually is telling me she wants to move back in with her mother because the real estate prices here are insane where I live.
How old is
it's like $2,000 a month for a one-bedroom
You guys are in your
condo.
30s?
Yes.
No sex out of wedlock.
Oh yeah, I've been telling her that, and she wasn't too happy about it.
You've been telling her, but have you been living right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But you gotta, kick her out. Make her move back to her mother or wherever she wants to move. Because you don't want to live together like that. That's wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we help each other. I mean, there's no sex or anything, but I cook dinner and.
Simp. Don't say that out loud.
Well, I'm a lot
I
better
said,
cook than she is.
Did you
She
hear
doesn't
me?
know how to cook.
Did you hear me? I said, simp. Don't say that out loud.
Well, I mean, the best cooks in the world are men.
I know, but that doesn't mean you cook for your girlfriend and we help each other out, and it's fine for her to live with me. What the heck? You're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
More of a simp to go live with my father and take care of him?
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
you doing that out of obligation or because you want to?
I mean, I like my father, even though we disagree on a lot of things, but he's going to get hip surgery soon, so he's going to be, incapacitated for a few months.
Florida is made for old people. They have plenty of people who can take care of old, decrepit, handicapped people like your dad. He'll be fine. He'll be fine without
he's not
you.
A wealthy man. I don't think you'd be able to afford hired help to.
That's not your problem.
I know it's not my problem, but it just seems like it's a better community down there. And I like the state politics a lot better. I like the gun laws a lot better.
Yeah, I understand.
The taxes are a lot less than Massachusetts, to be honest.
Well, you sound like you have doubts, because otherwise you wouldn't even be calling me and asking me about it. So as long as you have doubts, you're just gonna operate in blindness, and you'll make the wrong decision.
Well, that's why I'm calling you. I mean, you're the master of advice.
No, I'm not. Call Jesse. Call Jesse for counseling.
Call Jesse? All right, I'll call him tomorrow morning.
But I do suggest, when in doubt, don't do it. And you are in doubt, so don't do it. That's my. But
well, I'm in doubt
of course,
I'm in
doubt
about staying here with my girlfriend.
Well, kick her out. But definitely do what you want. Definitely do what you see is right, because you know your own heart and you know what your situation is better than I do.
Well, I like to ask advice from people that I trust before making big decisions.
Yeah, I appreciate that. What a compliment. You trust me?
Yes.
Nice.
I watch you every day.
So what do you think of the advice I gave you?
I think your advice is to talk to more people and try to come to a better decision.
No, my advice is not to talk to anybody.
Well,
my advice is know yourself and wait until you know for sure what to do. In fact, you'll just confuse yourself the more people you talk to. You know what I mean? You know how that does?
Well, to be honest, I think I've already made up my decision.
Oh, okay.
In that I want to go down there.
Yeah.
I think I just wanted to bounce the idea around
Well, I definitely wish you well, and you can call.
my-
I'm curious to see how it goes, man. And I wish you well with that. It may work out. Who knows?
I mean, there's a lot of different factors.
I gotta go, man. We're overtime.
All right.
Nice to hear from you, though, Killian. Take care.
All right. You as well.
All right. Thank you. The rest of the callers, Robert in Kansas wanted to talk about Trump said Israel controls Congress, or used to. I know, but I cannot get to you, man. And the rest of the callers, I got to end it. We are way past time. Thanks, guys. Take care.